Welcome to Buying a Home for the First Time series. My name is Nan Nan. I'm a local realtor right here in Bothell, Washington. I serve Bothell and the greater Seattle areas. In the Buying a Home for the First Time series, you're going to walk away with valuable information, including deep diving into the home buying process, explanations of forms and stakeholders, how to win the house that you love, the closing process, and other various information that will empower you to make a more confident consumer decision. Let's get started with the very first video in Buying a Home for the First Time. And that is, who are the key stakeholders in a real estate transaction? Because the people we work with matter. Stakeholder number one, your agent, known as the buyer's agent, or in industry terms, the selling agent. Aligning yourself with an agent is the very first step in any given real estate transaction. Number one, you need the agent to write your contract. Number two, an agent has access to systems and tools that are unavailable to others. Our tools are more powerful than others out there like Redfin or Zillow. The free tools are great for initial research, but if you want deeper analysis and knowledge, only an agent can do that for you. An agent can also offer local knowledge in depth. We know the area well. We've lived here for a long time. We understand the local government, including zonings and school systems. Also, lifestyle factors. We're deeply involved in our communities, and we know and understand the local market like the back of our hands. When a buyer, and especially first-time home buyers, have a good agent on their team, they feel more taken care of and more confident about their consumer decision. Stakeholder number two is the lender. As most likely, first-time home buyers will be taking out a mortgage. A lender helps them get pre-approved, and with that pre-approval letter, buyers now know what price point they qualify for, and it makes their search so much easier. During the closing process, lenders will get your loan and give you a final approval so that you have the money to close on your house. And throughout the entire transactional process, especially for first-time home buyers, lenders can help explain different products, the mortgage market, and help answer any questions and get through difficulties during the process in the area of financing and lending. If you have a good lender on your team, you're going to feel alleviated of stress that are normally created by financing issues. For a good lender, my contacts are below and also in the description of this video. I'm happy to provide a few good options for you. Stakeholder number three, the seller. Contrary to popular belief, the seller doesn't necessarily always has the upper hand. Every transaction is different. They each have their own DNA. The seller could be incredibly motivated, or they're sitting pretty with multiple offers. Normally, the buyer does not communicate with the seller directly. However, it is advantageous to get to know their situation as much as possible. Ask your agent to reach out to the listing agent and find out why they're moving. How motivated are they to sell? And anything else that the seller is willing to share in order to make the transaction smoother for everyone. In my opinion, the seller and the buyer, even though they may not see eye to eye on everything, they do share a common goal, and that is a successful closing. And therefore, they should work together as teammates, and their agents should ensure friendly communication and surround them with amicable atmosphere. Title and escrow are important. The title will gather information and research the transaction. For example, is the seller real? Or are there any clouds on the title? Because by closing, you want the title to be clean and free of any liens before it gets transferred to you as the new owner. A title company can also offer you title insurance to make sure that you are covered as far as ownership goes. An escrow company is a separate entity. They often hold the monies that are important in the transaction. For example, your earnest money. Escrow also holds other open-ended entities important during the transaction but aren't completely closed. For example, the title, because after going mutual with the seller and before completely closing, your title is in this fluid state, and escrow is the location that you would store it, like a locker. Title and escrow are separate services, but they work together cohesively to ensure a smooth and successful closing. During a real estate transaction, you're going to hire various other service providers depending on what your transaction needs. The most common ones are Number one, the inspector, who will conduct an in-depth inspection of the property in the transaction. He or she will check for structural damages, leaks on the roof, cracks in the foundation, carbon monoxide and smoke detectors, and other material facts that may impact the livelihood and your lifestyle inside the property. Depending on the size of the property, inspection normally costs between $300 to $500 in the Bothell area. You will also work with an appraiser if appraisal is not removed by the lending institution. An appraiser will evaluate your property by comparing it to the current market and make sure that the property is of value and that it's lendable. Next is insurance. You'd want to make sure that your property is insured. Well, for obvious reasons. Last, but certainly not least, possibly the most important stakeholder in this entire transaction is you. You, the buyer. You're the one funding the project. You're the one spending time studying, evaluating, and putting in a lot of emotions into the project. Ultimately, you have final say in every single decision that will be made within the transaction. Every single stakeholder that I spoke of before are there to help you make the ultimate decision. Please know that you are the ultimate decision maker. You are the client and the most important person in this entire transaction. Buying a home for the first time can seem incredibly tasking and make you feel a little fearsome. That's why I made this video, so I can arm you with information and support that will help you battle those fears, alleviate stress, and turn those fears into excitement. If you're a first-time home buyer, I hope the Buying a Home for the First Time series will help you out and give you confidence. If you're looking for an agent to align yourself with, I'm here to help. Again, my name is Nan Nan. I'm a local realtor right here in Bothell, Washington. I serve Bothell and the greater Seattle areas. For real estate needs, contact me with the information below.